Hey, welcome back. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. I was requested to do a video on some tips and tricks on how to plan and book a cruise. So I have decided that I'm going to turn that into a 3-part mini-series. So today will be part 1. I'm going to call this the Beginner's Guide to Planning and Booking a Cruise. So come up with a few ideas, some thoughts that I have on the best ways, the easy ways, the most cost efficient ways to book a cruise and how to plan it in advance. For those that might be a first time cruiser and you're not really sure the best route to go. I'm no means a professional, but I have been on 8 cruises and I've learned a few things, so I'm going to qualify myself as a half professional. So hopefully you will get a few tips that you can use. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification, so when part 2 and part 3 come out, you will get notified right away when I post them. Also, don't forget to share this video if you know somebody that needs some tips on how to book a cruise. So to plan a cruise, I think the first thing you need to think about is the 3 W's. When you want to go, where you want to go, and where you want to leave from. I think that will start you off on exactly how to pick the perfect cruise. So when is what time of year you want to go, what days you want to go, you know, when can you get time off work. You have to think about all that stuff beforehand, so that way you're not paying for a cruise and then you get to the time off and you can't get off because that's a bad time at work. So think about the type of job you have and how easy it is for you to get off work. So when also is, do you want to go like during the holidays? Those can be a busy time because kids are not in school, so you might have more kids on a cruise ship if you go like spring break, if you go Easter break, if you go over Christmas, or if you go for summertime. Those are pretty much big time that families will take because the kids are out of school. So you have to think about that. Think about hurricane season, which if you've been following the news recently, a lot of hurricanes was going out messing up all the islands that a lot of the cruise ships go to. So a lot of the ships now have been rerouted to other ports because of the places that they were scheduled to go has been, you know, affected by the hurricanes. So around this time, which is usually like, you know, August to September, mid-October, they can be hurricane season. So you have to think about that when you think of when you want to go. Or if you want to go to Alaska, you can go, like, cruise ships only go to Alaska during like May and August because it's, you know, it's cold over there. So if you go, you can't go during the cold months because then you got the Titanic all over again. No, so that's the type of thing that you have to think about when you want to go on a cruise ship. Okay, so the next is the where. Think about where you might want to go. Do you want to go to Jamaica? Do you want to go to Mexico? Do you want to go to Grand Cayman? Things like that. Do you want to go to Alaska? Or do you want to go up north like Canada? Those type of places. So that will help you decide which port you're going to leave from. You know, if you're going to Hawaii, a lot of those Hawaii trips leave from the West Coast, so you got to go to Seattle or California or somewhere like that. So that where you want to go will kind of mesh into when you go, and it'll also mesh into where you leave from. Which brings me to my next point, what port you want to leave from. So Florida is basically the cruise port capital of the world, so if you want to go just about any length of cruise, you can go to Florida. You can go to Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami, or Orlando, which is Port Canaveral. And those 4 ports from Florida, they ship out all day, every day. So you can decide then if that's what you want to do, because you can go to more places from Florida for less amount of time because it's so close to all those different ports. And then, you know, like for me, I live in Delaware, so the closest port to me is Baltimore, which is an hour away, but it takes longer to get there. So they only have 7-day cruises from Baltimore, where you can go to Miami and take a 3-day trip real quick because it's so close, like to the Bahamas. So you have to think about which port you want to leave from. So that's another thing to do your research. See what port is closest to you. Or if you don't mind traveling, you can hop on a plane and go wherever. You can go to, you know, South Carolina. You can go all the way to Australia and get on a cruise ship. It just depends where you want to leave from. How long do you want to go? They have some 2-day cruises to nowhere, or you can take a 10-day cruise. You could take a 12-day cruise. We took a 14-day cruise one time. So it really depends how long you want to be out. So those are, if you go on any website for cruise ships, the things they're going to ask you is where you want to go, when you want to go, and how long you want to go for. And then they will generate lists of the closest cruises to the search that you were looking for. Next is which cruise line. We are Carnival cruisers. We love Carnival, although I have been on 2 Royal Caribbean cruises. I've been on 6 Carnival cruises, so I prefer Carnival Cruise Line. But there's Royal Caribbean, there's Carnival. You can go on Norwegian, Princess. There's so many different cruise lines, and it all just depends on your taste. I would suggest researching the cruise lines and see what is out there for you, like the type of person that you are, the type of trip you want to have. If you want to party all week, you might want to go with Carnival. If you want to just chill out, you might want to go with like Princess. If you want somewhere in between, you might want to go with Royal Caribbean or Norwegian. But definitely just Google Google the cruise lines, check out their websites and see what each one is all about. Next is your budget, which is very important because you need to decide, are you going to cruise like a pauper, or are you going to cruise like you're balling out millionaire, you just won Powerball? They have cruises basically for all budgets. Like cruises can be very expensive, but if you catch it at the right time, it can be affordable. So you have to decide how much money you want to spend, and then you have to factor in port charges, tips and gratuities, which are standard across all cruise lines. You have to decide what it is that you want to spend. Another thing to think about when you're planning a cruise is the type of cabin that you want. You can go with the inside cabin where there's no mirrors, not mirrors, there's no windows. So it's basically just a room that has, you can't see anything. You can have an ocean view, which will have a window. Some of the inside cabins have a porthole. They consider that an inside cabin, but it is a little porthole where you can see a little bit. You can get a balcony cabin, you can get a suite, you can get a family style cabin where you can fit 5 or so people. So think about who's going with you and then decide if you need 1 room or 2. On our last cruise, we got a triple cabin. It was me, my husband, and our son, so we just shared 1 room together. So they have some with bunk beds, they have some with the couch that'll pull out to a bed. So you need to think about how much space you want, and if you need a balcony. We personally love a balcony cabin. You're going to spend more money for a balcony, but if that's what you prefer, definitely, if you can afford a balcony, I say go with the balcony unless you get seasick. But if you enjoy the ocean, if you enjoy having your own little space to just chill out, I would say get a balcony. If you're not sure, then I would say start off with an ocean view room so you don't feel claustrophobic in an inside cabin, but it's not as open as a balcony cabin, if that makes sense. I'm going to talk about the type of things that you need for your cruise. Like, it's preferred that you have a passport because, of course, you're going to other countries. If something happens and you miss the boat, you get sick or whatever, and you have to leave the ship to go to a hospital or to get back home, you know, you need a passport to get back into the United States. But it's not mandatory on a cruise ship. You can cruise with your birth certificate and a photo ID if the cruise ship is leaving from American port, coming back to an American port. So if you leave from Miami and that cruise ship returns to Miami, you're fine with the birth certificate and a photo ID. Another thing to think about is if you have a child and you're not with the other child's parent, it says in the rules that you're supposed to have a notarized letter from that other parent stating that you can take their child out of the country. I don't know how particular the cruise lines are about it. The first time I took my son on a cruise, we didn't take a letter. We got on the boat just fine. I'm in a few cruise groups on Facebook, and I've seen people say that they got stopped for not having a letter and all that, so I'm not sure. It could be the worker that day or whatever. It's always best just to have somebody sign something saying, yes, this is my child. I give the other parent permission to take my child out of the country. Or just have a passport, because then that way it's already been established, because to get a passport, both the parents have to consent for the passport. So you've already gone through all those hurdles to get the passport. You've decided when you want to go, where you want to go, all that jazz. Now you need to figure out how to actually book your cruise. I have 3 ways of how to book your cruise. You can do it all by yourself. You can call up a cruise line and say, hey, this is Mimi. I want to go to Jamaica on October 2nd on this ship from this port. Sign me up. You can do it online. Just go online. You click all the good stuff, what you want to do, where you want to go. It'll let you pick your cabin. You can do all that stuff online, and then you pay your deposit. Now your cruise is booked, and then you can just manage everything all by yourself. There will be some tips for that in another video. The next way you can book a cruise is directly through the cruise line. So let's say you want to go on a Carnival cruise. You call them up, they'll give you one of their PVPs, which is your personal vacation planner, and it's basically just a customer service representative, and they will walk you through all the steps over the phone. They will book the cruise for you, take your deposit and all of that, and then they're basically your travel agent. You know, you can get in contact with them later on if you have questions or whatever. I think they give you all of their information. I've never booked through one of the cruise lines people, but I've talked to people and that's how they say it works. I've actually booked many cruises by myself, and then I've also done them through the third way, which is a certified travel agent. And that's just someone who is, you know, legally certified to book vacations for you. But a travel agent, they can book a group cruise for you, which is one of the things I like about travel agents, because I have booked several group cruises before, and it's just so much easier to have someone doing all of that for you, getting the cabins together, getting the dinner situation together. If everybody wants to sit together, they can do so much. And if you find a good travel agent, you can, you know, call them with questions. If you're like me, you have many questions, many questions, and you find somebody that's willing to work with you and help you out, then that's a good thing. So yeah, so you can book it by yourself, you can use the cruise line, or you can get a travel agent. And if you're looking for a travel agent, I know a very good one, so leave me a comment down below and I can give you that. Is all I have for you today. All about planning and booking your cruise. Thank you so much for watching part 1 of this series. Be on the lookout in the next few days for part 2. And then I think part 2 is going to be all about things you can do once you're on the ship, because it's a lot and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So we're going to go through that, and I'm going to give you all the details, all the goods on how to do that. Comment down below if you are excited for part 2. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.